Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant review. So a little bit of a different topic I wanted to discuss, and this is regarding the monetization in the game, the prices of the skins and the in-game currency basically. So I was initially going to make this as a post, but it kind of got long and I thought people will not read it. So I thought I'll make a quick video. So I came across this tweet on one of the tweets from the official First Descendant account about one of the skins, I think the racing skin. So this guy here from Brazil, he says, honest feedback, especially for Brazil, skin prices are too high. We love the game and want to support it, but fairer prices would help a lot, especially for players struggling financially. Lower prices, more sales equals more profit. Please test that. So this is an interesting point here because I do see frequently a lot of people saying the game is the skins are too expensive, the caliber premium in-game currency is too expensive, things like that. Now, from what I can see with different live service games, the prices are sort of in line with most of the games like Fortnite, Apex, Diablo is even more expensive. But with something like Warframe, for example, you have in-game trading. So a lot of people can basically just trade and play the game for free. And on the platinum, is it in Warframe? I can't remember. But they can earn the stuff in game and then buy the cosmetics. So it's a lot more of a reasonable and more balanced monetization model. Even if things were expensive, that people can earn the currency in game. We can't do that here in the first Descendant. The second topic with this guy from Brazil that comes to mind is regional pricing. So as you know, on Steam, we have regional prices on games. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still there. So for example, over here, um, Titan Quest 2. I mentioned this in a community post a couple of days ago. And I bought this game because they shadow dropped it. I was a big fan of the first game. And so this is an example of a good regional pricing model. This doesn't happen much these days. So this game launched into early access and had a 20% discount. It still has until the 8th of August for $24. Now, $24 in the US. However, in India, notice the price 1,040, which is less than $12. So less than half the price of the game in the US. Now, they used to do this more often, taking into consideration the economies of a country, the average salary, and things like that. You can see here, it's different for different regions. For Brazil here, it is 71.19, which is 12.79, so a little more than India, but still a lot less than the US price. They tend to use the US as the standard base price and then adjust accordingly. Now, for example, if you see the Eurozone or the UK, they end up paying more. They usually end up paying more. So it's worse for them and good for people like us here in India when we get the regional pricing. So this makes our decision to pick up games much easier. Now here in India, the issue is obviously the average salaries are not that great. And even if you can afford the games, the hardware cost is a lot higher than what it would be in the US because we end up with taxes, the quantities are limited. So something that would cost, let's say 600 in the US would end up costing 11, 1200 in some cases. So unfortunately, that is the a disadvantage for us, even if the games are cheap. Now, I'll give you an example of bad regional pricing, and we have Diablo 4 for that. Diablo 4 is currently enjoying its highest discount, 55% from the 1st of August. It's 22.49. So remember, Titan Quest was 23.99. However, notice the Indian price here, 18.72, which is 21.39. So still a little bit of a regional price, but only a dollar difference. Whereas with Titan Quest, it was less than half the price. If you look at Brazil, it is 18.59. So in this case, Brazil is a little cheaper than India, but still nowhere near the regional pricing for the Titan Quest game. Plus, the in-game cosmetics are even more expensive in Diablo, even though it's a full-priced game, and the expansions are also quite expensive, $35 for this Vessel of Hatred. So no, it's a bundle, I think. Anyway, so it is also kind of expensive. So the point is, if they tried regional pricing with the in-game currency and the cosmetics, would it work? Now, if you saw the first Descendant first anniversary thing, most of the audience for the game is North America and the Western European region, along with like 20% in Korea and Japan. So South America and Asia and Africa is probably like 10% in total. I think 7% in South America, and I see surprisingly more lights in the Indian region compared to what I was expecting. Anyway, the point is in these regional areas, if they were to introduce regional pricing to the Indian cosmetics, would that help improve the game? Because as I mentioned with the hardware prices and other things, culturally, PC gaming isn't that big a deal, at least here in India. People mostly play on mobile. And then you have the sort of upper class kids who tend to play on console, PlayStation, and those sort of things. But the average gamer in India is either a student who convinces their parents that they need the high-end laptop for studies and they play CSGO or something like that. And the other is basically the young adult who has just started working, 23, 24 years old, got a job, maybe a couple of years experience, is earning decent income, and then they invest in a nice gaming setup for themselves. So those are basically the two audiences. I'm a rare exception, a guy in mid 40s playing the game. I'm an unusual case because again I lived outside India most of my life, so gaming was a little more common. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is if they were to test adding regional pricing to the in-game currency, would it work? And I think it could work, especially if there isn't a huge market. Because it's a free-to-play game, a lot of people would try it, but at the same time, they would get put off by the expensive prices for the cosmetics. So if they were to try regional pricing here, like I showed you with Titan Quest, and let's say they made it half the price, would it work? I think it would work, at least in my case. Now I can buy skins. I tend to buy skins every now and then, not regularly, but once a month, maybe once every 2 months, simply because it doesn't justify the excessive price. I want to support the devs and the game, so I do buy them. But if they were cheaper, I would be more willing to pick up some random skins, even for Descendants that I'm not playing. At the moment, I tend to pick up the common skins that they have, which can be used with multiple Descendants, things like that. Because when I compare it to other things, like for example over here, 250 caliber is 415, $5, and 520 or 500 caliber is 832. So combined, this would be around 1250. So 1250 is around $15. As I showed you, this game, the full brand new game, although there isn't that much content currently, is still cheaper than just one skin in the first Descendant. So that is like difficult to justify spending um, more than for one skin basically per month or something. So yeah, so I feel like with a smaller audience and a bigger market for free-to-play games in these regions, if they adjusted the prices, I think they can get more sales in regions like this, where the game may not be popular, but at the same time, Southeast Asia, South America, maybe Africa, people are more willing to try out free-to-play games. And if the prices were adjusted accordingly, I think they would do well. Now, if you are in North America, Western Europe, let me know what you think of the prices. Because, like I said earlier, if it's something like Warframe, even if the prices were higher, you would be okay with it because there is an in-game economy there, and you can trade and sell stuff and get the platinum. Again, let me know if it's platinum. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I played Warframe. But without that, it just becomes too expensive to justify picking up lots of it. Um, so yeah, just wanted to share this and wanted to know what people think with the new season coming up. At the moment, they've shown a lot of skins. They have shown the Nier Automata skins. They have shown the racing skins. Um, is there something else? I think there's something else. But for me, I'll just pick up the Battle Pass and then maybe towards the end of the month, I'll decide if any of them is worth getting because at the moment, I'm expecting the Nier Automata skins to be more than the usual price because it's a bit of a collab. So they probably have to pay Square Enix as well. So it's not going to be the 750 in my opinion. So also I'm not really a fan of Nier Automata. So it doesn't really matter to me. So we'll see once that drops. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, 2 more days to go. I can't wait. I'm currently playing Titan Quest, so I'm busy with that. But yeah, I'll try and finish that before this season starts. Obviously, it's not that big. I can finish it in a day. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are regarding the monetization, and if what this guy's saying, with reducing the prices, and what I'm saying is adjusting the regional prices for um, economies where things like this are too expensive for free to play.